Pisces, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your June shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you are shifting out of in June, the shape you shift into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Pisces, before we get to cards, the image that's coming through as I'm sitting with your energy is kind of wicked, kind of a wicked trip. So let's just go on the journey. I saw us like on a boat in the ocean, and this cartoon fish popped up to the surface and was like, and it was sort of like an 80s movie, you know, where everything else is real life, and then there's a cartoon character that the actor interacts with. It was like that, like a Roger Rabbit kind of thing, and it turned sinister like Roger Rabbit, and I'll explain. So the fish comes up and is like, hey Pisces, I want to take you on an undersea adventure and show you all the fish. Who's coming with me? It was like a kid's thing, you know, like, come on kids, let's look at the underwater adventure. Let's learn about marine life. And you, Pisces, of course, are like, hell yeah. And so you dive into the water, you're following this fish, and the fish is like, over here is a starfish, and over here is this, Pisces, and is like showing you all the things, like, you know, come on. And then as you swim deeper, it starts to get darker and darker, and the content starts to get darker and darker. You know, it's like the cartoon very quickly goes from a kid's show to like an adult themed kind of like nightmare. It's like you go deeper and deeper, and then all of a sudden it's like, and here's the shark, and the shark is like feeding on something, you know, and it's like it starts to get twisted as it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And so the question for me out of that image is a question of like, and I felt this energy of when you go down your rabbit hole, we all have our own rabbit holes, Pisces. When you go down your particular rabbit hole, to what extent is it a helpful learning experience where you learn about the creatures down there within the depths of yourself and it teaches you something? To what extent is it a fruitful, inspiring trip for your imagination where you're like, ooh, I came up really inspired by that and filled with creativity? Awesome. And to what extent does it go too deep to a point where it starts to get dark in a way that is not helpful, in a way that gets a little twisted, in a way that perhaps could end up being harmful for you? You know, you could run out of air down there. It's a question. It's a question, I think, that's here in June. So Pisces, shuffling your cards here, asking, what is the shape Pisces is shifting out of in the month of June? Too many cards. What is the shape Pisces is shifting out of? Okay. Interesting. This might be your shape shift. Two cards came out. Five of Swords and Leo. It kind of feels like to me you're shifting out of the Five of Swords and into Leo. Look at that eclipse energy. Five of Swords would be walking away from conflict, walking away from maybe mental conflict. Interesting, the sphere and the sphere. This could be the moon, mental, emotional stuff. This is definitely the moon and the sun, the eclipses. We are heading into eclipse season, into a more like fun, flamboyant expression of yourself. Let's just put that there and keep drawing some cards. What is Pisces' experience of this shift in June? Whoa, Pisces card flew out. Hanged Man. It's been coming out for the last 3 readings here. Okay, Chariot, and one more. Major Arcana, baby. Judgment. You want to talk about Major Arcana? Yeah, I think this is your shift. This is a major, major, major mental shift for you because you're not moving forward. Or maybe you are, but it's like maybe the reason you're not moving forward, Hanged Man energy, is because of the mental cycles you end up in, mental emotional cycles you end up And remember, oh yeah, remember how I said the deeper you go, you could end up getting hurt? You know, it's like, to what extent, when you start spiraling, however that looks for you, Pisces, I think it looks different for everybody. Some people are super analytical and they start getting all in their head and they start creating mental conflicts for themselves. Some people start fights with others and that becomes a spiral. Some people go deep into coping mechanisms, substances, whatever, that, or like deep into escapism, and that creates a downward spiral. Whatever your spiral is, when you get into it too deep, you could end up getting hurt. Look at that hand getting stabbed through. And now actually I'm seeing this as a bubble you get in. You get in your own bubble, Pisces. And it's like you keep getting hurt. And maybe even anybody that reaches in to try to pull you out of it gets hurt. Ouchies. And so here you are, Pisces, in your rabbit hole. This is the Hanged Man. This is the energy of going down the rabbit hole, being on that trip. And the reason, it's like this energy is here to ask you to shift your perspective, to get a different view of this. You know, to shift your headspace, you know, to have a realization. Look at all these, like, I think you need to see what this, I'm looking at the organs. You need to see what this, the way you are spiraling or the way you tend to go down your rabbit hole, the way that is affecting your insides, maybe even your physical body for some of you. And there's an epiphany around this. There's like a explosion of the mind, like a boof. It's mind-blowing for you, which is what I see here as well. Very eye-opening. Your eyes are opened in a new way, and it's like the flowers have exploded here. This like poof, explosion of the sun, which is beautiful. I think that the sun kind of needs to come out here and shine some light in all this water energy for you. Judgment, it's a shedding of a skin, emerging. I'm seeing this as like the twisty depths of this spiral, and then like you emerging up towards the light with a new skin, shedding that old skin, emerging with the new, and then that allows you to move forward. Chariot, having harnessed, you know, like Pisces, you're very good at going to the depths. You're very good at feeling into those dark spaces. We're all good at avoiding them as well. You know, like we all go into escapist tendencies in order to avoid this stuff about ourselves that's harder to look at. Sure. But it's like what I'm seeing here is an integrated understanding of self. Having followed the fish, and to understand the lightness of the surface and the learning that's there, and the twisty stuff at the depths, and letting your understanding of that pull you forward rather than keep you in it. Because again, you're gonna run out of air down there if you stay in that spiral. It's like look at the snake. You're seeing the snake like coming up for air. Coming up for air and moving forward, up in the clouds, moving forward. And, you know, I always feel like the Chariot is a level up. It's a level up, you know, it's like this is the vehicle that takes you to the next level of your life. This could be really a chance for you to shed a pretty major skin. You know, Judgment is a major moment it's a major moment of awakening. There's an invitation here for you for sure. 3 major arcanas right in the center, that this is a major awakening of the self into energy that is, again, like Leo energy is fun, it is exuberant, it is self-expressive, it moves towards the sun, towards the lightness rather than the heaviness. And again, these eclipses in eclipse season, we're entering eclipse season, and here it is for you. I think it's going to be big. And that's interesting too, because the Chariot energy is associated with Cancer. We've got this major like blood moon showing front and center, which is speaking to me of the eclipse, and the solar eclipse at the end of the month, at the end of June, is a Cancer eclipse. So I'm like, okay. Eclipse energy, big deal for Pisces. So my friend, let's ask about the eclipses. We're gonna get into the Next World Tarot to ask about what the eclipses are bringing you. As I shuffle, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm feeling into this eclipse energy. Those of you who know my work and follow it on Patreon, you know that every week for the moon story, I use Sabian symbols to help inspire my imagination to see what's going on with the astrology. And Sabian symbols were channeled by a medium, Elsie Wheeler, in the 20s, who assigned an image to each degree of the zodiac. So the first eclipse is a full moon eclipse in Sagittarius, and the Sabian symbol attached to that degree is a seagull watching a ship, watching and waiting to see what's going to happen. Interesting, the ship too, because that came in your meditation. The Sabian symbol associated with the new moon eclipse at the end of the month in Cancer is another ship, but this time the ship is lowering an old flag and raising a new one. So there's this idea of like watching and waiting for the old paradigm to be ripped down and the new paradigm to raise up. Okay, so like the old way of you kind of sinking into this spiral or really like digging into that spiral energy, that I think is the flag being lowered, and the new one being raised is a different expression of yourself, a different way of feeling into your own energy, because the sun energy, Leo energy, talks about the way we experience ourselves. And perhaps this is offering you an opportunity to experience yourself differently, to experience a new version of yourself that's much lighter, much more free to express, much more creative, you know, inspired, without having to get stuck down in the depths in order to be creative and inspired or to feel connected to yourself. Interesting. So let's use the Next World here and ask, what is the eclipse? These eclipses, what are they bringing for Pisces? Yeah, I think they're bringing you your fire. There we go. Bringing you up out of the water to burst through the surface. This is fire energy. Leo, fire, boom. Ace of Wands, a totally new sense of self, a totally new beginning that is more active, more inspired, more creative, less willing to dwell in heaviness or in the depths of like a sinking kind of, or like a twisty journey. No, this is more of a light upward sun energy journey. It says the roots of fire. The roots, you've gone down to the depths already, Pisces. That's how I feel. And now it's time to like burst through the surface. And I think these eclipses are bringing you something really beautiful to help you do that. It feels really good. So I'm going to take this into an extended reading now. This is just the first half of your reading. We've just kind of scratched the surface. Now we're really going to dig in and get some clarity. What is this Five of Swords? What is this like sinking, spirally, stuck in the depths energy that I'm feeling? And what is this shift in perspective, awakening, bringing you? Awakening of the self, like what's this new experience of yourself that the eclipses are bringing, and how is that moving you forward in a new way? What is this fire awakening you're having? I love it. So we're gonna dig in. If you wanna follow me over to this extended reading, stick around. There's going to be a clip of what we get into at the end of this video, so you can make sure it resonates with you. And if it does and you'd like to see it, click the link in the description box below and that'll take you to Patreon. Patreon is an online community I've created for folks who are interested in my work, who are resonating with my work and want to dig in. If that sounds like you, meet me over on Patreon. Read the full description when you get there so you know how a patronage works, and then I will send you the extended reading for June. All right, Pisces, if you want to support my work for free here on YouTube, all you have to do is click like on this reading, leave me a comment, let me know how it's resonating with you. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that we can grow here on YouTube together. All right, Pisces, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, there's a whole lot to focus on that is messed up and that is dark. But there's something else There's something else at the surface for you, Pisces. If you can come up for air here, there's something for you at the surface that gets you out of the emotional intensity of it, where you're not really helping anyone. You're not helping yourself. You're not able to help affect the situation of the world or your own personal situation. Being in your cups, that's really what I like, being in your cups. That's the expression. Being in your cups like this is not really going to get you anywhere, and it makes it really foggy. It makes it really difficult to see the way forward in this energy of the moon. And I think these eclipses are bringing you the shift in the light for you to start to feel into your fire again. The Emperor is fire. It's Aries energy. Here's your fire ignited, and you can feel your sense of inner power again. You can feel your sense of leadership, the leader within you begin to step forward. Here's the new flag being raised on the ship. Here's the old flag. If the old flag is the moon, the new flag is the sun for you. And that is leading you forward. The fire leads you forward, and you're able to step up and be that powerful person that you actually are. And maybe even take the lead again.